You're like Michael Jordan.
Ah, the tongue. All right,
Remember
whenever
that?
you're ready.
Michael Jordan. We're okay? We're good? Okay. So, first of all, introduce yourselves for me, please. Tell me who you are and what museum you're with.
Stephanie Jarvis, the director of the French Legation Museum in Austin.
And I'm Cynthia Anderson. I'm the chair of the French Legation in Austin.
Great, thank you. So tell me, what's the point of the French Legation Museum? What's it about?
I'll let Stephanie answer that one.
Well, the French Legation Museum is the oldest house left in Austin today, but it was built to house a French diplomat and serve as an embassy when Texas was a republic in 1836 to 1846. So in a nutshell, that's who the French Legation is. But beyond that, we are maintained by the Daughters of the Republic of Texas, and were restored. The structure was restored by them back in the 1950s, and has been maintained since that point and operated as a house museum. So not only the legation story, but preservation story, and one family that actually inhabited the house for 100 years, and their part in the preservation story of just the history of the legation and the structure itself.
So I've been to the French Legation. It is a cultural jewel in Austin. It really stands out just by virtue of what period it represents. But you do more than just tell that story. You're part of the community landscape as well, the cultural landscape. So tell me, I understand that recently you're having some rock and rollers on your property. Is that right?
You're talking about the South by Southwest festival,
Right,
I have a feeling.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we have to, come down to finances. We have to keep it open, and one of the ways we raise money is by renting the grounds. Musical events like South by Southwest, but also for weddings and other groups like the one we had here today.
Sure.
Might rent our grounds for some of their activities. So rentals are very important to us, and the South by Southwest is very lucrative.
Do you get any sort of spin-off benefit from having so many people use your space for things that are not directly related to the history of the legation?
I think it's all about exposure too. I mean, I've experienced in the 3 years that I've been with the museum that people have been on our grounds for South by events, never knew we were there before. So definitely, yes, it's rental revenue, but I think a big part of it is exposure and bringing people there that never would have come there before for music events or other things that aren't necessarily connected to us specifically.
So you mentioned the financial pressure that you feel. What are the other big obstacles that the museum is facing right now?
Well, an old house, one built in 1840, wooden structure, requires a good deal of maintenance.
Right.
And of course, it's not maintenance in today's world. It's maintenance the way it was at that time. So you're talking about special skills sets for even to evaluate the house. We have requested now for a $20,000 grant to help us assess the structure of the house, because we see that part of it looks like it may be having some trouble, and that would just be the assessment. Then we'd have to fix it.
Right.
So day-to-day operating funds are raised, as we mentioned, by the typical ways: tours, the rentals, the weddings, gift shops, all those more traditional ways. But the structures of the house, those big items, roofs, shingle roofs, that comes through grants.
And another obstacle, I would say, or something that we've been dealing with in terms of maintenance and fundraising for maintenance type things, is moving beyond reactive maintenance to proactive, and getting to the point where we realize, we really want to think, especially in terms of the structure, what things need to be done regularly, and some sort of a tracking system for following through on that, because like many nonprofits, we have turnover with staff, committee members, and so making sure people continue and maybe sort of plan out some of the things.
Well, I'm very alarmed to hear that Stephanie's leaving. I don't know if that's what you were suggesting just now, with that turnover in staff.
No.
I'm kidding. Actually, tell me something about what you're here for today, HELP, and how this process is been of some assistance to you, if it has.
Well, I have to tell you, we have some very wonderful committee members. They're very bright. We have several PhDs. They're professors. We have very dedicated people. But we do feel we could do better in our committee structures and our functions. We have good financial management side. I think we do pretty well over there on that. But I think we needed a little boost to push us forward in terms of the next level of experience. We kind of were at a plateau, I felt, and that participating in this gives us that extra little boost to think a little bit more broadly.
That's great.
And ensure that the museum will be there for a very long
Yes.
time. And how can we ensure that sustainability? What can we do? What things should we be complying with or thinking about, talking about?
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. Well, we're really, really happy to have you guys part of the HELP project. So
We're glad to be here.
good. Well, thank you, and